Hello again, Rick from Summit Cyber Group, and in this video I want to show you the next tier of our AI Orchestrated Penetration Testing tool in SimpleSec. If you haven't seen the standard tier video, I encourage you to watch that. You'll see on the standard tier you can do external network tests, you can do web tests, as well as API tests. But the next tier up, which is our pro tier or consulting tier, that one has additional capabilities, and this one's really targeted towards mature cybersecurity organizations, MSPs, and groups like that. So we're going to dig into some of the features, but the first feature I'd like to dig into will be the fact that you can do internal penetration tests. Now, to do that, I'll bring you into the screen to show you what that looks like. First, you'll log in as normal. Let's go ahead and set up an engagement for an internal penetration test. And once again, an engagement is just a way to keep things organized and set the expectations, not only organizationally, but also within SimpleSec, of what you intend to test here. So we're going to call this a demo internal test. And now you'll notice on the pro tier that you have some extra things in the dropdown. You can now do the internal network with Active Directory, as well as you can do a discovery test. If you don't know what is on the inside of your network, discovery is a great tool to do that. So this one, we're just going to do an internal network. So we're going to create an engagement as normal. But instead of kicking off the engagement right from here, we're going to pop over into our engagement section really quickly. And you're going to notice on the pro tier that there's some additional stuff. This internal access. So first off, the way SimpleSec connects to do your internal network is through a WireGuard VPN. Now, the cool thing about this is if you're a consultant and you're working from home and you're VPN'd into your customer or into your corporate environment, yes, you can set up your Docker container right there or your WireGuard profile right there and have it connect to that machine and use that current already in place VPN tunnel to the other environment to actually perform the test. So SimpleSec will gladly use you as a proxy to get into the environment. So this is how we'll set that up. Again, you can use a WireGuard profile if you have one. You can already set one up. Just copy and paste it into here and click Attach WireGuard Profile. Or if you want to go the real easy route, we're going to click Containerized Agent. And then all we have to do for containerized agent that you would normally do on a VPN is set what are our available routes going to be. So you'll want to put in any type of CIDRs that you have available for you for the network that you want to test. We want to make sure we build a route for every available IP segment that you want to test. I've set up a lab to do this, so we're going to do 192.168.25.0, and we'll do a /24. Yes, this test will run a little bit longer than your web tests, probably anywhere from 5 to maybe 30 minutes, sometimes longer, depending on how much you've added onto this. But for this one, I've set up a lab on a /24. Now, all we have to do is, since that's all the routes that I'm worried about, is I'm going to click Generate Install Command. And you'll see right here it says Waiting for Agent. So first thing we'll do is copy that install command, and we're going to pop over to a terminal. And inside the terminal, I'll need to sudo since I'm not root here, but we're going to go ahead and run that Docker command, type in our password. As you can tell, that was not password 123. And it has now pulled the Docker container. Now, back on the SimpleSec side, if we flip back over, you will see that now this will turn to connected. If it doesn't turn to connected right away, just hit refresh. You'll see that that should show as connected. Don't worry, that connection is not a live VPN connection. That is just a health check that's gone back and forth between the Docker container and SimpleSec and vice versa, exchanging the bearer token and testing that, yes, we have connectivity. Now, next step, by the way, that's as hard as it gets right there. Next step is go back in, and we can either right from here, enter test information, or you can click New Test, make sure that you're on the demo internal test. Let's go ahead and test that same /24. So we'll enter in there as a target. Once again, you can, if you'd like to, you can click this to be scheduled in the future. You can click it to repeat. That WireGuard VPN will go up and down only during the testing time. And we'll click Allow Destructive Proofs, just so that it doesn't stop when it finds what I've put into this lab environment. And we're going to click Launch Test. Next thing you'll see that's a little bit different than your other tests on the standard tier is you're going to see that the VPN has come up. You'll see a unique identifier for your VPN. Your VPN is tied to each engagement. So you can have multiple containers running. They will all be tied to an engagement. If you look at the string, you'll see it has an engagement ID. So for each engagement, you'll be setting up a Docker container for that or a WireGuard profile. Now, we'll let this go ahead and test while I show you a couple other cool features that are in this level of SimpleSec. So next thing I'll show you while that's testing is, again, we don't have to be watching that test. It's going to run fine in the background. Is inside of SimpleSec, you'll see that you now have the ability to add or change your workspaces. You can make changes to existing workspaces if you've already bought a license and it's for one customer and you want to repurpose it for another customer. All you do is delete that customer's data, obviously, delete any users you've tied to that customer, and reuse and repurpose that. You can also reach out to us and we can clear that data for you. You can also add an additional workspace. Each workspace is $99.99 a month. So if you've got a pro license and you have 2 customers, all you have to do is pay the additional $99 and you can add that second customer. You can also, if you have many customers, buy them in bulk. And yes, we do offer discounts if you reach out to us or to one of our resellers if you need to buy bulk versions of licenses. So you can have multiple organizations. And each one of those organizations can have its own users. You can tie a user to multiple organizations or just one organization. We do have role-based access control, and each workspace for each organization has its own unique encryption key within inside of SimpleSec. The other cool thing about these workspaces is you can brand them. Not only will this brand the report, but this will also brand your dashboard. So for this company, this is demo organization. I'm sure I've got a logo we can use for this. So I'll click and upload. I click logo here, click select. Here we go. And you'll see it is uploaded. And now our dashboard has updated up in the top corner. We are now demo company powered by SimpleSec. So nice little touch if you choose to white label, if you want to do this for customers and customers have their own logos, or if you're doing this as a MSP and you want your logo. Again, this will brand your pen test reports at the end as well. And so while that's all been happening in the background, our test has been running. Again, we can go back to our test. We could see which test is actually running right here. It's doing the demo internal test. It's on the enumeration phase. So let's see what it's found in this great lab environment that I set up. And as you can see, out of the old equipment that I dug out of my closet, we have a lot of stuff with some cool vulnerabilities that SimpleSec has found. So you can see, again, you get the same type of output, you have the same options, you can see all of the information about the test as well as all the steps. You can also download the PDF when it's done, and you'll see this PDF is actually branded with that new demo logo. And of course, you have all the export capabilities as well. So I hope this has been helpful, showing the difference between the standard tier and the pro tier. The next video will show the enterprise tier and how you can do additional levels of testing with that. But if you have any questions, reach out to us at info@summitcyber.io or info@simplesec.ai. So thank you very much for watching. Have a great day.